Hey, I'm Matt Griffith, the Americano, and if you've watched a little too much Narcos, you probably think Colombia is still run by drug cartels and guerrilla groups. But let me tell you, Bogota in 2025 is not the Bogota of the 90s. Today, we're going to talk about crime, safety, and what expats really need to know about living here. We've all seen the shows, Narcos, Pablo Escobar, El Patron del Mal. But what they don't show us is that Escobar died in 1993. And with US assistance, Colombia systematically dismantled the major drug cartels. The Medellin cartel fell, the Cali cartel fell, and while drug trafficking still exists, it's now largely controlled by Mexican cartels, not Colombia ones. Back in the 80s and 90s, Colombia was one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Today, Bogota's crime rates are lower than New York, Chicago, and Miami in many categories. And mass shootings that take place in the US, they don't exist here. If you've read old travel warnings about FARC and ELN, Colombia's infamous guerrilla groups, you might think the country is still full of kidnappings and armed conflicts. But let's set the record straight. The FARC, the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, signed a peace deal in 2016, officially disbanding their military operations. The ELN, National Liberation Army, is still around, but operates mostly in rural areas, not in Bogota. Foreigners are not kidnapping targets like they were in the past. If you're in Bogota, you're not dealing with guerrilla activity, period. Now let's get real. Every major city has dangerous areas. New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami. They all have neighborhoods you wouldn't walk through at night. The same goes for Bogota. And the thing you need to know about Bogota has 10 million people. That's a little more than New York City. So the homicide rate for Bogota is 13.6 per 100,000 people. Chicago's is 18.3 per 100,000 people. More than Bogota. If you wouldn't walk alone at night in Detroit, you shouldn't do it in a Stratum 1 neighborhood in Bogota either. But if you're in areas like Rosales, Santa Barbara, Chapinero, or Usaquén, the biggest risk you'll face is paying too much for your sushi. The safest neighborhoods are Stratum 4 through 6, which are popular with expats. There's Santa Barbara, which is my neighborhood, that's basically got luxury apartments, tons of restaurants, it's great walkability. There's Rosales, where Andrew Henderson of Nomad Capitalist lives. It's quiet, exclusive, great for business people. Usaquén, which is a European-style cobblestone streets, amazing restaurants. Cedritos, more affordable, still safe and modern. And I walk around with my watch in all of these places. This never comes off. Neighborhoods to be cautious of are Stratum 1 to 2 neighborhoods. They're low-income neighborhoods, and this exists in the US, or for that matter, anywhere in the world. Those are places where you're more likely to get robbed. Bosa, Ciudad Bolivar, San Cristobal are 3 of them here in Bogota. They just have higher crime rates. Like any big city, Bogota has neighborhoods you should avoid, but the good areas are just as safe as most US suburbs. Most crimes in Bogota aren't violent. They're opportunistic thefts, meaning thieves take advantage of careless people. Colombians have a saying, no dar papaya, or don't give papaya. And what it means is, don't make yourself an easy target. Don't be holding something out in your hand that looks sweet for a thief, like holding your phone out. How do you avoid being a victim? Well, don't flash your phone on the street. Thieves love iPhone. Use cross-body bags with zippers. Pickpockets target backpacks. Be cautious in crowds. Markets and buses are where pickpocketers strike. Use Ubers at night. Taxis are fine, but Uber is safer for foreigners, and no one knows when you get into a taxi. But when you get into an Uber, your ride is logged on servers around the world because you used an app to book it. If you follow these tips, your chances of getting robbed are about as high as your chances of getting hit by a falling coconut. So is Bogota safe? For the average expat living in a good neighborhood? Yes. The old dangers from the 90s are long gone. Just use common sense, follow the no dar papaya rule, and enjoy what Bogota has to offer. Would you move to Bogota? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos on life in Colombia. Until the next one, take care.
The America.